Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Today I'm bringing you just basically a really brief PSA on defending. It's going to be a while until I can do like a full actual defending tutorial. I've got to figure out this patch a little bit more, and I've got some other tutorials I want to go through, but I think it's really important right now. It's just like, I don't know, I feel like I'm noticing a new pattern in a lot of the games that I play, and I'm struggling with it too. The thing about this game is every attack is so threatening, and it feels really stressful for me. I talk about this in an upcoming gameplay video, one of the Foot Champs runs. But it feels like every time people are on offense, there's just like a lot of effective things they can do. It's like the through ball's always on. Any turnover you have in their half, it's like, okay, they're going to get to your box. It's a through ball. They're just going to go ahead and score. And it just, like, if we think about what defending is, it's so much easier when it's like multiple players around and you're just really able to cover basically every space, and you're defending with like 4 players and they've just got 1 or 2 or 3 on offense and all that. But when the game's stretched and you're countered, it feels like it's a 3-on-1 every single time. And I feel like I've noticed this new pattern that I want to go over really briefly of just, I feel like these through balls are getting easier. Again, I just did a full champs run, and people are pulling their players out of position way more. I don't know if they're trying to rely on the jockey or what. So again, this is just like a real brief PSA. I don't have too much to say today other than I really feel like getting this video out there of just stop moving your center backs out of the way. There are ways you can get this to work, but like, I feel like I got so many, I don't actually score from this one, I get caught up, but like it's free almost entrance into their box, right? And I could have just slowed this down and done better. But I feel like people are just so quick to like do this and then they get stuck here and then they don't do it. Like, you can fake this or threaten it, but you've got to do this to make me try to like, just to try to encourage the pass. And then you've got to actually start stepping back. So you do like, oh, 1 step in, and then just like start sprinting back. Make sure you cover that space, because the idea is, if I get through, it's so much more dangerous. If I'm in behind your back line, this is so much threat. And if I just slow down with Grealish, I've got a couple passing lanes. There's a lot I could have done there, but like, again, the idea is just, the danger isn't having the ball here. So unless you can do this and just completely slow me down, this is just so much of a risk. It's not worth it. Just do this. Just go back. That's what the PSA is. Just go back with your defenders. I'm seeing a lot of people like do the control with one of these players too, and then just kind of keep sprinting back and not touch their back line. It's like, but you've got to guard the through ball still. I know the AI is better at intercepting than the manual players, but still, you can't just leave them to it entirely. Grab somebody and go back. Genuinely. I just mean, like, I'm seeing this so frequently. We'll go to another clip. This is actually me doing it, so like, I've gotten caught in this too. Not a through ball. You see, I just kind of pull myself out of position there. It's not proper defending. I'm using the R1 to second man press. Completely drawn out of position. They just get on through there. So again, like, I'm not trying to encourage people to just defend with the AI. It doesn't have to be stodgy defending. But don't, like, take the 2-on-1s. Don't drag people out of position in ways that don't make sense. The way to actually get this defending to work here is I'm trying to use the second man press to go into this player. What actually happens is these two just like swap around and I end up losing all the space. You want to defend with your team to actually be like using one defender with him. Like if Koundé's here, then I'm using Koundé to kind of jockey and push this attacker into Reece James. That's what the idea is. But instead what I do is I get them like completely caught on each other. They're just stepping on each other's toes. And then off they go, easy space in. We get lucky with the block. Marquinhos runs back across for me. I really deserve to concede here. But I feel like there's just way more people opening space. I don't know if, again, like a heavy reliance on jockey, or people are just forgetting this. Maybe people are more frustrated. You gotta say, just a little bit calmer on defense. You really do. So another example here. It's free space. And I think I hit the post here with Campos. I take a shot from distance for the low driven. I mean, it's just like, this is elite division rivals, and people are just seemingly to, I don't know what's going on here. You got to delay, because what's actually strong about defense is, I'm going to show you in the next clip, right? It's off kickoff, so like no, it's not. This is a different clip. What I'm trying to focus on is actually the clip switch here. This is what's strong about, and I don't want to encourage people to defend like this, but look how they've got 3 attackers, and I've got like 6 defenders at least in that space, if not like 8, potentially 9, depending. This is where it's fraught, because like my AI makes that tackle for me, which is annoying. It shouldn't. but my AI makes the tackle. And it's because I've got these other defenders. Like, what happened? I gotta go back to, like, the frame. Cucurella is sprinting up at Nico Williams here. And what happens is I use Cucurella to step into Williams to force him to turn back that way, which goes into my other defender. So I'm using one guy to defend with another, and that's what you have to do on defenses here. You got to use your team to defend with the rest of your team, because one-on-one defending is really, really fraught and really difficult. Even with the increase of jockey, I mean, there's so many things you can do on offenses here. You can do the through balls, you can do double tap passes, you can do left stick, you can do give and goes. I mean, the just holding L1 and X and like sending your player on a run is super effective. There's a lot you can do on offense. You gotta guard this stuff, because like it's having the numbers, and then like what you've got to do with your center backs is actually just have the numbers and delay and buy time for the numbers to come back. Again, I don't want to encourage the stodgy, like, inactive defending where you're just sprinting back with somebody. I'm actively using a defender here, but I've got the situation, I've got the foundation where I'm able to. So you've got to like use one defender to delay, to wait for another defender to come back, and then use them both at the same time. I really want to have people focus on that. If you're struggling with the game post-patch, I want you to take a look at your defending and see if it's for this reason. Because I've been a little bit bad about it too. I definitely have, and I've got to focus on it. So this video is almost partially for me. But I feel like I'm scoring a lot of my goals for just kind of basic through balls. And there are a couple games where people are like just doing the super effective AI defending where it's annoying. I feel like active defending is better. You can get the ball back quicker. You get to plug up some of the spaces better, whereas like just relying against the AI is really strong, but it's not going to be guaranteed. I feel like you can get manual defending and have really good manual defending full games, whereas like AI, you're probably going to concede one or two, even if the rest of the game you're like, it defends perfectly for you. And just, you got to use your team. You got to get in these situations where you're using multiple players. I'm pretty sure I counter on this move. And the opponent pulls, yeah, like, that's Mariana. She's got good passing. She should be able to make this pass. But like, Campos is making these passes too, and he's got 75 long passing and no incisive and like 77 short pass. So Mariana's going to play this every single time. There's no intercepting that. What this guy needs to do on defense is either A, this is not the guy to be defending with, you switch to Lorente, and you have this be the pressure, but at least Koundé's still back guarding the through ball. Or you take Koundé and you do this, and then you start sprinting. But you got to stay like in front, or you got to stay goal side between the goal there and between the player. You can do like a little bit of a step to threaten with Mariana, to try to encourage me to make that pass. But again, you got to start making that sprint back. And once you do, you guard that, you take things away. I'm buying time here with Mariana. I'm just kind of like left sticking forward. I'm seeing if I can get that pass angle on. This guy's going to get back there. And all of a sudden, like, you've got somebody else you can switch to. You can do multiple things. Maybe by then you can step out with Koundé, because he'll move there. And before I can get that pass, I have to move around you a little bit, which might take me into your other player who's had time to get back, and now you'll defend with him. So again, just make sure you're defending as a team. The individual defending is just non-existent in this game. So every count, like, because this is such a counter-heavy game, right? And the through balls are too powerful to stop. I've used intercept plus Marquinhos. I've used intercept plus VVD. They don't make the interceptions. They just don't. I know it's an important playstyle. A lot of people rely on it, and it like they'll get one or two a match. They don't get nearly enough. They'll still mess up with it a lot. So make sure you're just watching your defending. Again, I'll put out probably a longer tutorial on this once I scuff this with a long shot. But the point being, like, I'm pretty sure, I've only looked at a couple clips this match. I'm pretty sure we could go through pretty frequently here, or pretty quickly, and just find some other examples with this. Let's see if I can. Because I'm pretty positive we get like just so many open space ones. Not that one. I guess that guy was better defending further deep. Did I get one with this? Could have, but I don't continue the clip, so. Even that, so like what could the guy, just actively like learning with me, what could the guy be doing different here? You can just hoist in for too long. I definitely would have done a switch there. But it's not active defending. The threat isn't like here. Here's the thing, with Teo, like this is such a separation between these two players, right? There's so much distance. I'd actually drag him a little bit here. Yeah, that gives me the ability to run out wide, but you've got the space. Like you're still further this way than I am. So even if you're more inside than I am, you've got the distance where you're able to close that down, and eventually you're just kind of like jockeying and trying to muscle me out of bounds at that point. But I think you got to like control this guy and get him closer to Hoisin to just guard like how easy this through ball is going to be. But instead he's a little bit more aggressive and he keeps him on duo. Stays a little bit wide on this counter. Like he guards the width, which just drags him further apart. And now, like already with Hoisin, he switched to him. I think he's realized like, oh, this is fraught. This is dangerous. You got to watch this. And he steps up, and this step up is so dangerous because like they don't intercept the ball here. I can make either of these passes, and I don't have the pace. So of course, if this is Nico Williams or somebody you're in, Due's 80 pace, I'm not going to be able to get on through. But you get the idea here, right? The concept is. So it's just way too dangerous to be manually defending like that. So obviously the meta thing people do is just like switch to him and just sprint back, which is annoying and I'm not recommending that. You either do a little fake and then you actually manually move him here, but if you just do this and leave him there, leave him in that exact spot, the AI doesn't immediately recover that for you. AI does not. So you do this and then you manually move him back before you switch to him. Or maybe just like move him here and just keep controlling him and see how the play progresses from there. Like there, you just got too wide. Probably pretty easily able to get down through. And again, Campos, 85 pace, no pace playstyle. Not quite able to get this to work, but obviously this is like a 50-50, right? If he has better passing stats, he makes us like guaranteed, but you're just kind of hoping that his poorer passing stats makes this work. Sometimes it will, sometimes it won't. This guy absolutely could have conceded on this one. And I know, like, end of the game, he's got to be a little bit more aggressive and all that, but again, I'm sure if we just keep on going through, we'll probably be able to find some other examples pretty easily. And this is just, like, if you think about what's strong about defending this year, yeah. If you think about what's strong about defending, the strength is, like, that top of the box stuff where you're defending with, like, 8 different players at once. That's what we're all complaining about, right? The strength is defending with numbers. So don't defend with no numbers. Buy time. Use your players to make sure you're just, you're waiting, you're delaying, you're covering the spaces, and you're just making the opponent take their attack a little bit slower. By that time, you've got your players back. Then you can be aggressive. Don't be aggressive with just the single players. I think this is an offside step. Yeah, there's an offside trap here, so I don't have much comment to make on that. You can see just like the off positioning again. Like it's an odd shaped back line. So easy to get through when your back line's a little bit out of shape. I mean, that's a smart back heel, to be fair. That's a pretty absurd move, but hey, you get the idea of just like, we're sprinting in behind so easily. What happens on this one? It's another offside step, so I'm not going to talk on that too much, but he opens the space. He's probably second man pressing with him there. Same thing I complained about in the one I almost conceded where Marquinhos ended up blocking it. We got on through there because of the second man press, and you're leaving nobody to guard that space. Like, if this guy, and it's a little tough because like you're relying on the AI, but if the AI is here, instead of here, I can't do this drag back. I just go right into him, but as it is, free space, right? Which is really, like, I want people to focus on their defense. Make sure if you are manually controlling your players that you're doing it correctly. Like, again, I don't have the pace quite, but we're getting on through here. I'll probably make the ball across. Yeah, that's going to be a goal there, right? So, and it's because he's manually swapped to a center back and he's dragged him out. If you manually swap and you drag them out, try to restore them. If you do this, like, watch what the AI does there, right? It's slow. It takes a half a second or two. Or watch. Switches off, walking, then runs, and then does a little like setter run, and then they're kind of getting back in position, but they're not even fully back. Like, they didn't commit. They're just getting back into line. They kind of went like a little bit of a zigzag, and now they're here. They're kind of like, we're not quite going to cover that. And it's still fraught. They're probably second man pressing now to try to fix it, which is like this whole move stems from controlling your center back and pulling them out of position. So again, make sure you restore them to position, or make sure you're using them in ways that actually still cover the space. Like, if he just stays, this will be the last clip we cover here, I think. If he just stays here, he guards that through ball, he's got this other player to guard any kind of run in behind I can do, and if he's here, he starts pressuring me that way, which goes into his other defenders. So I have to turn around with Campos, and I probably turn into one of his other players. There, he gets the ball back by defending with multiple players. But as it is, he's pulled him way too far across. He didn't switch in time. He's probably, again, second man pressing. Maybe that's what we're learning today. Maybe second man press isn't the way to go, but I think you get the idea from this video. I don't have too much else to contribute on it. Again, I'll try to formulate some more stuff. Just focus on your defense. I think a lot of people are really struggling with the defense side, even though it's supposed to be so powerful right now. If you can cut out, like, here's the thing. If you're conceding like 6 goals a game, 3 or 4 of them are probably on the through balls. If you can cut those out, all of a sudden you're conceding only 2 or 3 a game, and those games are much more winnable, right? So try to focus on that stuff. We're going to leave this for now. I just wanted to put a quick video out there. This is still longer than I meant it to be, and that's just how this channel works. But hopefully you all did enjoy. If you did, like, comment, subscribe, and all that good stuff. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace. We'll finish with him scoring there.